Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
SBTV Nation, it's your boys in the house, the return of the Dream. What's going on, y'all?
Oh, Dream, how you feeling today on this Sunday morning? You tore up from last night?
I am not tore up from last night. You know, you have to, at times, have just a Saturday night just to chill play. You can't go out and tear it up every Saturday night, train hard all week long, and then wreck your body in one evening. You're going to have to pull back from that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, you know what? Yesterday I was feeling really good in the morning. Today, not so much. Today, not so much. You know what? I started off with the a little champagne and wine, and then ended up doing cognac at the end of the night. Oh, God.
So listen, speaking of cognac, I'm glad you brought that up. SBTV, good morning. It's the Dream in the house. It is Sunday. It is July 9th. The summer is just breezing by. We are a sports show, but we're going to talk a little bit about some other things.
Good.
That's what we like to do here. And it's been a minute since I've been on. As I wasn't on last week, 4th of July went down. I had the class on Saturday, and then Sunday, I thought we were off. Hat tells me, hey, are you getting on at like 5 of 9? And I wasn't even home. So needless to say, I couldn't make it on, so I apologize for that. Anyway, talking to this guy yesterday, told me about this thing called French Mule hat.
French Mule.
French Mule, it's a drink.
Okay.
And cognac, ginger beer, mint, and like a little bit of bitters, the aromatic bitters.
Yep.
I made a couple of them on, Friday. And really interesting, different type of drink. Just interesting, different. And he says you could sometimes substitute the cognac for champagne if you want a little lighter of a taste. But very nice drink.
Oh, really? Last night I had a jalapeno infused vodka.
How was that?
Dope.
Was
You got to
it
it is, I mean, it is super spicy.
Okay.
You got to like have something almost with it, you know what I'm saying,
Sure.
to make it go down, cuz it's super spicy, but you know what? I could just imagine how that tastes in a Bloody Mary, which as a matter of fact, after this I may go and have a Bloody Mary somewhere in a little breakfast, cuz the bartender was telling me that it's amazing in a Bloody Mary. So that might be a little something to make too, Dream.
Wow, that is an incredible idea right there for Bloody Marys. Spicy infused vodka, the jalapeno one. Now, do you make your own?
No.
No. Okay, because somebody was telling me, a couple of guys was telling me, and we're getting really alcoholic-ish.
Alcoholic-ish,
this
yes.
was telling me to take grain alcohol and put Jolly Ranchers in it and let it sit for like a week. And he said it's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's definitely good, man. You know,
You've done that. Oh, I've never done. My alcohol game's not up to that speed yet.
Yeah, the grain alcohol is tough though. That is
No
very,
doubt.
very strong. Very strong stuff. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is, and we'll go from there, man. But good morning to everybody with the SBTV Nation. It is July, as we talked about, Dream, and the weather's kind of nice today.
Weather's nice. Connecticut, still a lousy summer.
Yeah, the
Weather-wise.
last week and a half has been halfway decent, but yeah, so far.
When you think about it as far as from a heat standpoint,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just really hasn't been up to snuff. And the evenings have been, which is kind of nice. Our evenings have been cool here. Days have been a little bit warm, but still not as hot as we're accustomed to, especially in July. Summer, it's been a lot of rain this year for summer. My grass looks incredible, but outside of that,
No doubt.
it's just not been that. Because, I got the pool. I've only been in it maybe twice. The kids go in it because they'll go in it. It could be, if I open up the pool in the winter, my kids will go in it. But other than that, as far as for me, it hasn't been a great pool season for me to spend a lot of time in that pool.
No, it never is. And a pool for me is just a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. So I don't know if you guys.
Believe it or not, it's hardly no work.
Is it really?
Salt. I got salt water. So if you don't have salt water, I don't know. But I know a lot of people who don't have salt water who are always playing with chemicals. Salt water, once you get your salt right, once you get your levels right, they got a couple of products you put in once a week. Just a capful once a week.
Really?
And it's no work. Yeah, no work.
I never knew that you had salt water in that pool.
Yeah, I got a saltwater pool.
Oh, that's dope. Oh, good for you, man.
Salt water's no work.
All right, so we got Shy Picks on here. Terrence Mack is saying, who's that new guy with you, Hat? It's Dr. Dan, the evil genius, who's been MIA for a minute.
Listen, somebody, if you can find Dr. Dan, all right, now I know he's all over fantasy, which cracks me up. But if you can find Dr. Dan, can you ask him how come we're halfway through baseball season and he's only been on twice?
Right on. Speaking of fantasy, we're getting ready and geared up for football season. And right on week 1 this year, we're going to start our fantasy contest stream. Week 1, not week 13 this time.
Okay.
We got to do it weekly.
It's good, Lip.
Yeah, it's definitely good. So, I'm looking forward to what I'm going to do is start sending some links out there, as we get closer for people to sign up and get ready. Because you know what? I want to have some really, really big contests, like over 100 people,
Sure.
And every 10 people that join the contest, it's one more place paid. So what it is if there's 10 people, the top gets paid. If there's 20, the top 2. If there's 30, the top 3, so on and so forth. But, that's the best way to split up the money, I feel.
Yeah, I think you're right. I like that. We should have did it where our heads were because we were doing it.
Yeah.
I do fantasy football every year in a league. So, and I did start the daily last year relatively early in the season. I don't know why we didn't do week to week. That's I don't know how we missed that last year.
I know, but hey, it is what it is, man. But
DraftKings and FanDuel have merged, correct?
I think they were in process, and it hasn't happened yet.
I find that absolutely hilarious. I find that absolutely hilarious that the two parties have merged.
Well, why do you think it's hilarious?
Well, first of all, they were going against each other for a minute.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden, you have the league on one end that somebody's cheating on the other end, and so they've obviously just said, what the best thing to do is for us just to merge.
I think it's awesome.
Oh no! Good business. I'm not. I just think
business.
It's funny. It's and apropos that it finally comes to that. It would be like if Coke and Pepsi were to merge right now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But I think that it's I think it's a good look. But I also wonder about it necessarily being kind of a monopoly on the product, since those were the two biggest names in fantasy sports as far as that's concerned. That I know. Do you know of anybody bigger than him? And not in the U.S.?
Oh no, they're completely crapping all over any of the little websites out there. You know what I'm saying? Especially joining forces.
Right. So now when you join forces, it's like the old Ma Bell 18 thing. If those of you are a little bit older, probably remember how that went down. So I just wonder about the monopoly or a monopolization of that particular product as far as that stands. But good for them. Glad that they're going on with it. Pat, have I had the opportunity to talk to you about the Boston Celtics and how they're going to just suck next year?
Oh yeah, talk to me about that,
dude. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said that he thinks that it's Danny Ainge. He thinks that Danny Ainge, a lot of people don't want to work with Danny Ainge as far as players or agents are concerned. He thinks Danny Ainge is maybe the source of what's the issue with trying to get certain talent into Boston and keeping the talent there. I don't know of any of that. I haven't heard of any of that. But something's wrong in Boston because, you had a team on the precipice of moving forward.
Yep.
Possibly taking that next level and, maybe being a serious challenge to the Cavs. And now in this offseason, it's like they dismantled the whole thing.
Big time. And that's brutal to do it. I just think that, there's that level that they want to get to, and with the Cavs the way they are, every team in the East is just trying to shuffle and just trying to make themselves competitive.
Definitely.
And that's just a sucky situation. Just have a team that's that dominant and just, you can't even touch. So I think they're all in, I don't want to say panic mode, but they're all coming to the realization that they're probably not going to, even if LeBron James gets injured and they make it to an NBA Finals, then you got to play, the likes of the Golden State Warriors or the San Antonio Spurs or something like that. You're just not there.
And I don't think you're that upset though if you make it to the finals. But the problem is, you got to, like you said, make it to the finals and be able to beat a LeBron James' team, which, I know that they did it during the regular season, and I know the Cavs weren't great during the regular season, but I would chance or at least be willing to bet that even in the playoffs, had LeBron James not been available, I still think the Cavs would have still made it to the finals this season.
Really?
I do, yeah.
All right. I mean, they do have a pretty good roster.
That's what I'm saying. I think playoff basketball is different than regular season basketball, and obviously the urgency. I don't think they would have ran through it quite like they did, but I still think that the Cavs would have emerged from the East over any other team still.
Yeah.
Do you don't agree with that?
Yeah. You're probably right. I mean, they did have some really good talent there, and Kyrie was definitely leading them. For
sure.
Especially when my boy wasn't around. But hey, anyway, it is what it is. Dream, have you any other? What's your feeling on Lonzo Ball right now?
Well, my feeling on Lonzo Ball is, like I said, it's very hard to be an athlete. It's even harder to be a professional athlete. And on top of that, when you have a big target on your chest and you've got your father in the background creating all kinds of distraction and also giving all kinds of incentives to your opponents, you're up against that much more trying to be a professional athlete.
Yeah, right,
and
exactly.
We talked about it before. It's coming to fruition. Cats are going to want to, dunk on him and, hey, tell your daddy this and, your mama that. And, the trash talk is, listen, you get trash talk like that without your father being in the back behind the scenes creating press for you. That's what cats just do regularly. Balling.
Yeah,
now
right.
you add the dynamic of his dad, plus not to mention the other athletes know that Lonzo Ball is getting that much more attention even from the press still.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm on the cusp of making a team or not making a team, or I'm trying to impress my team. If I go hard against Ball, I'm getting that much more media coverage on anything I do.
Oh, especially if especially if you're, just sunning them and stuff like that. Forget it.
No, that's what I'm saying, no doubt. So it's a devil for the kid. I feel so bad for him. Me being a father and kind of understanding that I between a father and a son. I don't get it. I don't understand. I think that his dad has some intelligence because I've heard him speak before, and some of the things out of his mouth semi-intelligent. I don't understand why you would put your kid in this kind of a position as a father. You always want the best for your son, unless you felt deep down inside that, well, maybe my kid won't make it, so I need to make this brand and we need to make enough money and generate enough money so if he doesn't make it, he always has something to fall back on. That's the only mentality I could explain for this. And the opposite just would be that this guy's just that selfish of an individual that he needs to be in the limelight, for his son, which I hope that's not the case.
Oh, that's definitely part of the case. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, dude.
You think it is?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's kind of living vicariously.
Like that, though.
I know he's living vicariously through his kids, And hey, he got him on WWE.
I get that, but here's my thing: if you got faith that your kid's good, he could have let him get in the NBA and have a couple of years of being good, and then became. How many times have we seen a parent like Kevin Durant's mom? We didn't really hear nothing out of Kevin Durant's mom till Kevin Durant won the MVP a few years ago.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Some parents have stayed in the background. Then once their kid has done their thing, all of a sudden they come out of the woodworks. and became that voice. You know what I'm saying? And now you don't really care and you can respect that. But let the kid, at least flourish and have some success first before you do that. I felt like Lonzo Ball could have came, a couple of years later, or Lorenzo, and, made his comments after that as opposed to what he's doing now.
Yep. Well, hey, you know what? The kid had he had one performance where he was 2 for 15 from the field.
Yeah.
Oh, Rick Lopez has hit me up with some nice twerking girls today, bro. Nice. Love it, man. Love it. Good morning to you, brother. So, Dream, just, on a side note here, I know, we are a sports show, but how you doing with
Make America Great Again.
How you doing with my boy in office? just curious.
Well, like I said, the greatest thing about Trump being in the office is I don't have to hear anything about Obama, even though Trump still always wants to talk about Obama. But I don't have to hear anything. I shouldn't say Trump. I should say Trump supporters still always have to talk about. That's their scapegoat for whatever Trump's not doing. It was Obama's fault. So the best thing that I like right now is I don't have to hear anything about how bad Obama is. Trump keeps me entertained with his Twitter rhetoric.
Yeah.
I love that the president of the United States is time to tweet. This is awesome. In the society we live in now. And, I just watch as nothing gets done in the White House but a bunch of golf playing and a bunch of everybody throwing around accusations. It's more like a kindergarten atmosphere. I will bet you at the time, I'm making this statement now, it's recorded, remember this, there's no way Trump gets reelected.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
He's going to get reelected. Who's going to be? Okay, the only candidate that would come and beat him is like Michelle Obama if she ran. That's it.
First of all, I think Michelle. First of all, I don't think Michelle Obama's going to run for president.
No, I don't think she. I mean, it's crazy to even say, but I don't think she would ever do that. But that's the only. There's no contenders out there. Who's going to beat him?
Listen, I don't know who the contender is going to be. Bernie Sanders might run. I don't know who the contender is going to be. All I'm going to say is this. I would recommend, I believe that you'll have the biggest voter turnout ever, and he will get voted out. That's what I believe was going to happen.
Do you see the rallies, though? Do you see when he brings people together? He has support everywhere, all over the world, Dream. I don't know. I think you might be. Yep.
Trump is the most disliked president to ever be president. I love that you said it. He got support everywhere. He's epically changed the presidency as far as his approval ratings are just garbage. No one likes him. What are you talking about?
Nobody likes him. You're right. You're right, Dream. I don't know what I'm watching or what I'm thinking.
You and about 10 other white guys.
10 other white guys.
The KKK, the skinheads.
Oh, man.
Any other male chauvinistic organization
crazy,
in the country
man.
are the only people supporting Donald Trump.
Do you know that? And I don't know if this is a direct, I'm just going to tell you this much, guys. Listen, I've been in the real estate game for about 15 years. Okay, and I've seen the ups. I've seen the best, and I've seen the worst. And when I'm looking at it, and there's a lot of there's a lot of things loosening up. Dream. What's happening is that, and I don't know if you notice, and guys, if you're in the U.S., you might want to listen to this. The credit bureaus, there's something that got passed, and I forgot what it is. It's some kind of act where it's going to be pulling judgments and tax liens off people's credit. So what I'm getting at is that I think the real estate market, every time I'm running comps on property, I'm seeing it rise up. The values are getting stronger. The interest rates are still low. And to be honest with you, if they start stripping stuff off people's credit, that's just going to open up more lending, which means the real estate market's going to get even better. So guys, that's something. Listen, if you could invest in some real estate right now, I would strongly recommend it. Yeah, I mean, if you've been doing it the last 3 years, you're in really good shape right now. So, hey, let's see. He's not getting voted out. People love controversy. Dream, Donald Trump's going to be our president for a long time.
Okay.
So that's that, man. I'm looking at some of the odds here.
I don't mean he's getting voted out now. I just mean when he term, he
plus 185 for him to win the presidential election in 2020. Awesome. Talk about a marathon parlay, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, dude. So big UFC matches last night, Dream. I don't know if you got a chance, but Nunes didn't fight.
I did not check. Listen, the UFC, man, and I know you guys like it, and I've always tried it, but I tried to tell you that, there's a such thing as overkill, and there's a such thing as less is sometimes more. They gotta really shut down the every week of just 50 fights.
I don't know. I mean, they have, they have Bellator, they have UFC, they have other leagues and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people, there's just so many fighters. That's the problem, dude.
I love it once a month. Okay, look, give 15 fights once a month, one Saturday or one Sunday a month, and put it on regular TV and let it pop.
Yeah, but the big ones, they got to get pay-per-view money for.
Okay, yeah, the big ones, but the not so big ones, let it pop.
Well, what sucked for them was Nunes. Amanda Nunes was pulled from last night's event.
Okay.
And I don't know what exactly happened there. I'm going to pull it up right now and see. But taking a look at it, pulled from her fight. Let's see. She was taken to the hospital for an undisclosed illness both Friday and Saturday morning, and she didn't feel well. So she was cleared to fight by the doctor, but was pulled because she said she didn't want to fight. She had to be sick because that girl's a beast. I don't know if you've watched. Have you watched her? She's the one that murdered Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So she's a force to be reckoned with, man. So, if she, listen, if she wasn't good to go, she clearly wasn't good to go because I know this girl's a fighter, big time. So they'll reschedule that, but that's the worst part of this, as far as that's concerned, because, the UFC's been forced to scramble a lot to find opponents. It's almost like they're gonna have to have like a locker room full of people ready to go.
But that's my thing, though, Hat. Maybe if you change from the fighting every day.
Yeah, right.
And I know it's not that, but it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like I don't like the way they do it.
You don't like too many fights.
It's not the too many fights. It's just it's like it's on every day. It seems like every week. So now I can miss next week. I can miss this week because I can watch fights next week.
I got it. Well, you know what?
I mean?
Hey, listen. I can tell you this much: that it's similar to what the WWE has done. They do Monday, Tuesday. They do all these different shows. They do all these live shows. They're really milking it. And I agree with you. When too much of something kind of waters it down. To a certain extent, kind of, I don't want to say kills the buzz, but kills the buzz to a certain extent.
Pat, what is your take on the ESPN body, the body picks?
The body picks,
where they've got most of the athletes, majority almost naked, but not showing. Obviously
that's stupid.
I don't.
I think that's why do it? Is it just something to catch attention? What is it?
Well, it's catching attention. Obviously, I don't know that it's great attention that it's catching, but it is catching attention. And I just don't get it.
Remember when they had one of the fat guys on there? Who was it? Wasn't it Fielder? Wasn't Fielder on there?
I think it was Fielder.
It's like, what's the point, man? I don't know.
I don't know. You seen Edelman's pick with the football? I'm like, I get. They want to show these guys. Put them in some shorts. Put the girls in some, like a little bit flattering. I don't understand the reason for the nakedness.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't get it.
You can have them with some shorts with the shirt off. I mean, there's a couple of these pics that are like, dude, really? Like, why would you? I don't know why you would do it. I mean, but I don't. I'm not the biggest fan. Listen, so, I mean, that's part of our new age. Okay, for example, because I'm online dating a lot, right? And I'm not going to say the term, but everybody's going to know what I'm talking about. There's a ton of chicks when they hit me up. They're always like, "Do you have any D pics?"
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, no, because I'm 40, so I don't do D pics. First of all, I don't know how I'd ever take a pic of it anyway, because I'm cracking up in the mirror at myself.
Yeah, right.
I think it's the dumbest thing ever, but it's out there like gangbusters. It's out there. Chicks hit me up with. They get them all the time. Dudes just, I'm like, yo, listen, do yourself a favor if you're out there and you got some D pics.
That's great. So,
keep them to yourself.
I know, right? I mean,
don't get me wrong. I got pics of me with my shirt off in the mirror. I got shorts on, though. I even got some pics and some underwear, okay? Some underwear pics, kind of sexy, whatever, whatever. Get my phone in sexy.
Wow.
But a D full naked pic of the, by the way, No.
I'm surprised that they asked for that.
Nah, but some of them do, but others of them, they laugh about. Like, they got a lot of the chicks got a collection of them, and then they just sit around and look at them all and just and laugh at cats doing it. And I'm like, how does it do? Like, first, in a couple of them, it looks like somebody else is taking the pic, which is another controversial situation. If it's not a female.
Yeah, right. Asking your roommate, yo, could you snap a picture of me real quick?
Hey, can you get this pic of me real quick? See, you come walk. That'd be something you'd ask me to do, actually.
Yeah, right? It's crazy.
LeBron James thongs.
Oh, man. I don't know. Unless they got the timer on their phone and they set it up and then walk in front of it.
I don't know what's up with it, but it's a serious phenomenon. Don't send me none of those, or do you have any? And I'm like, yo, listen. You could see it, but it's not going to be in a picture.
Sounds like there's some freaka leaks out there, Dream.
Oh, dude, listen. Like I said, the only positive thing about over 40 dating is that from a freak standpoint, anything you can think of and imagine is you can find out there, which is sometimes a little bit scary.
What have you gotten down with a trifecta yet? Have you had any kind of women that swing both ways and want to bring another female with you?
No, I have not. I have not.
Is that something that you're actively pursuing at the current in your current state? Because that's it. I mean, when you're a single man, that's a really good look.
Yeah. So I've always those are like the luck of the draw. I think for some reason I don't ever seem to attract that type of. I don't know. I never seem to get into that type of situation. I just always. In fact, the couple that I had that were into that were into it but didn't want to get into it with me. They were like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna do." And I was like, "Why do you want to not like? Don't fall in love with me."
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be the guy that you want to, play the game with. You know what I mean? Fall in love with some other cat.
Yeah, good point. Right. And then, you know what? And that's the thing, too. It's like, if you have, let's say you have a woman that's like that and, that swings both ways and likes to screw around with women and whatnot. At some point, if you do catch feelings, you're always going to be wondering if she's, feeling a female or not while you're with her.
See, I'm good with that now because I'm way like for me to catch feelings, I'd be probably the next time I catch feelings, I should be well into my 80s. So, I'm good for any type of situation that any female wants to enter in with me at this point. 2 to 3 to whatever would work with me because I'm just not. The feelings won't be caught.
Yeah, got it. Well, you know what? I'm not going to obviously mention any names or mention even who this person is, but somebody I'm boys with goes. He's recently divorced.
Yeah.
And but with his wife, he used to go to parties.
Yeah.
where there's like 8 to 10 people in, a big house or a hotel or something like that, and they all got down.
Right.
Crazy. So now he's
cats
single.
I don't get invited to stuff like that because I'm a beast anyway. That's for selective. Listen, first of all, not a lot of black guys get invited to those.
Yeah. Oh man.
They ain't inviting the Dream to not like that.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a bunch of cats playing hating from the sideline. Saying, yo, who invited this dude?
Running through everything.
He's running through everything. Oh my God.
Oh man, yeah. So
SBTV Nation, we are definitely in rare form this morning.
yeah, definitely, man.
Sunday.
Definitely.
But we are having a lot of fun. Now you remember why you listen to this program,
yeah,
right?
right. And then so what he said was, now that he's divorced and he doesn't have the female with him, he's finding it harder and harder to get invited because they want you to bring some.
That's part of the whole game. You gotta come up. You gotta show up with something.
Yeah. So I told him, I said, why don't you just go find like a hot friend? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just bring her. That's somebody that's into that. But he said it's few and far between. You know what I mean? So hey, Shy Pix is saying, looks like you need a little Chicago Latinas in your life, Dream.
Oh yeah, that's what I need for sure.
Hey, the Latinas are very feisty guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't piss them off. You already know how they. I'm married to a Puerto Rican woman, and believe me, it can get ugly real fast. Real fast.
Yeah, and listen, we ain't even gonna get into the racial dynamics of females, but that whole sharing and swapping and that's a whole interesting another caveat of a relationship that you guys can get into. I never really wanted to get into that. I mean, you want to get into it, but not with anybody that you're actually kind of serious about. Because I know you used to. I know you've been out with yours, and I used to. My ex-wife, we used to get approached all the time.
Oh yeah. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 times. We've been in that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I was like, we were always like,
kick rocks. Kick rocks. Exactly.
And it was never nobody really all that hot either.
Right. That's another thing. Yeah.
You come in and I'm coming to the table, you know what I mean, with Heineken, and here they come with a Coors Light.
Couple of hillbillies wanting to get down.
Couple of Schlitz. Talking
Feels
about,
light.
have a Schlitz, I'm gonna drink your Heineken. I'm like, nah, I don't think so.
Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny. All right,
so
guys.
Anyway, guys, baseball is going on.
Yeah, let's have a conversation about it real quick. For me, not such a great day yesterday. Earlier emerged with the Yankees, but then, when you look at it here, Dream, Strasburg got killed for the Nationals. Nationals are that team. They're always juiced to the max, and then they always bite you in the ass. That's their whole makeup this year. It's unbelievable how that works. Was looking at the San Diego Padres yesterday in the Hall of Shame game. They beat the Phillies, so I was right on that one as an underdog. But then I fell short with the Arizona D-backs. They lost to the Cincinnati Reds yesterday. Cincinnati Reds obtained their 15th road win of the year, 15-29, and won in the desert by a touchdown, 7-0.
That's just the inconsistency of baseball. And anybody that knows me, I've talked to a few people on Twitter. Okay, first of all, I'm going to just sidetrack one more time just to give you a little update on Twitter. Now, guys, my iPad, which was my main way to talk on Twitter, it died, and I haven't replaced it. So part of my absence from Twitter, so to say, has had a lot to do with that, as I have to tweet from my phone. But you guys know my spelling's already kind of atrocious because my fingers, even with my iPad, even worse with my phone. And that's had a lot to do with my absence from Twitter, because I just don't really like doing Twitter from my phone. I don't know when I'm getting my iPad fixed, but that's been some of my absence. Anyway, back to my baseball thing. Dude, I would think about 2 weeks ago, we came on a program. I recommended a couple things. I haven't played baseball in maybe even 3 weeks. I honestly have not touched baseball. I've looked at it, paid attention because I'm doing fantasy in the fantasy league.
Yeah.
Absolutely getting killed in last place. Can't really get a win. The guys in there are so freaking active. My whole team at one point, at least 8 members of my team were on the DL. That was the dumbest thing I've ever. One of many dumb things I've done in my life, but it's at the top. Getting involved with fantasy baseball was just a big mistake for me. big mistake.
You can't catch a win.
And it cost me $250.
Oh.
Hey guys, so next year, don't even think about asking me to get involved with fantasy baseball. I would not spend more than $10 on fantasy baseball league next year. And you guys say it's fun. I see these cats in there. They're all day in there playing with them teams.
All day long.
All day long.
What's that pay? What's that pay on a
no job? Either you're one of those Trump rally guys, or like Cass says, you got no job, no life. I don't know what it is. Guess what? Have fun with your baseball. I'll see you guys football season.
Yeah, right.
Stop offering me trades.
What was I going to say? What's the dollars per hour if you win?
Oh God, I have no idea.
That's why I don't get involved in it. What are you going to make, $1,000 bucks?
I thought it was like $75 or $100. When Dr. Dan ever said it was $250, I was like, what?
How many players are in it?
I don't know.
10?
Too many. too many players are in it.
All right, so getting back to baseball here, Dream. What a great day for underdog players yesterday. Atlanta plus 200 wins 13-0. San Diego plus 140 wins over the Phillies. Then you had, Pittsburgh over the Cubs. Jake Arrieta goes down. They were plus 170. A plus 145 Marlins team wins. A plus 105 Cincinnati team wins. Looking at the rest of it here, there was another big one. Where is it? White Sox over Colorado yesterday.
Hey, cats acting like they killing baseball. I'm sorry. You're not selling the dream none of those tickets.
No?
No, because cats who told me they've been killing it, send me their Dream, I've been killing baseball. Here's my play of the day. Guess what happens to that play of the day? Loses.
Bombs.
Loses. I've been getting, and then they back off. I've been tearing it up. Okay, run me something. Loses.
Loses. Done. I feel you, brother. Well,
so how have you done this season? You up?
Up and down. I can't really catch a. Because I'll do well with like the run lines for a little while, and then I'll catch like a losing streak that basically it's almost like I'm running around in a circle. I keep getting like to this point, and then I get above this point, and then I fall below it, and then I get back to the point. I just can't catch a. I can't catch a stride. You know what I mean? Long. I need like a 3-week stride to really make some serious money in this. Because I don't play heavy, but when I do play, I'm playing all plus money stuff. So all I need to do is catch a couple of good weeks, and I'll be in really good shape here. But it's just been so hard. I mean, it's just like you said. I mean, Atlanta Braves coming in and winning 13-0 over the Washington Nationals yesterday with Strasburg on
That's what
ball.
I'm saying.
Tough.
I get it.
That's a brutal loss for them. I mean, obviously they're going to bounce back. It doesn't really matter because they're going to win the division most likely. But it's just crazy how that all shook out, man.
And as we look over the standings, and I know you guys love baseball, so we're talking about, but I'm being realistic of it. We look over the standings. I do see the Chicago Cubs still lurking.
They're lurking, but they're a sub 500 team.
They're in second place.
Yeah, you got the Brewers in first place, dude. 4.5 games out.
And do we think the Brewers can maintain first place through the rest of the season?
I think that whole division's up for grabs.
It's a mess.
I think the entire division, with the exception of the Reds, I don't see them pulling away. But Pirates, Cardinals, Cubs, Brewers all have a shot to win that division. If the Cubs don't win the division, they are not making the playoffs. So, because the wild card is so good.
I see the Rockies have started to slide a little bit.
A little bit, but they're still in running for a wild card here. But it's the thing is, dude, the Dodgers have been the hottest team in baseball. The Dodgers have been insanely good. I think they've won, I want to say, they're on track to win 109 games.
Right, they're on a 5-game winning streak right now. They're 60-29. They have played very well. 38-11 at home, 22-18 on the road. They played stellar baseball.
Right on. So they're doing pretty damn well.
I still like what I see coming out of Houston. I still like the Astros this season, even though Do you feel that do you feel like there's one still piece of the puzzle they're missing? Or is that enough?
One more dominant pitcher.
One more dominant pitcher. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's why I wanted to hear it from you as well.
Yeah.
59-29 on the season. They're 27-18 at home, 32-11 on the road. So they like Houston has definitely decided that being on the road is not going to be their Achilles heel this season, as they've been very dominant on the road. I think they got the best road record in baseball.
They do. They're playing really well, and they're a young team.
Yep.
And I mean, 32 wins on the road is dope. That was always their Achilles heel, man. So
always their Achilles heel. So they went out there and obviously made a big effort to do something about it. Major disappointment. You know what I'm disappointed with this season? Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, they're definitely sliding just a touch, man. They're 3-7 in their last 10.
Yeah, Baltimore Orioles. I thought this team last year, had made, a couple of strides as far as improvement is concerned and ready to take it up another level. And you go into this year and they just don't seem to be able to maintain the consistency and be the product that they, apparently looked like they were going to have last season. So big disappointment to me are the Baltimore Orioles. Any other disappointments in baseball this season?
Yeah. Toronto Blue Jays, man. Right in that division. Yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays, they're always forecasted as being one of the top, possibly winning the division and all that. I mean, 5 games under 500. They started out so bad.
Okay.
Brutal. And the Detroit Tigers as well. I mean, Tigers, I thought, would win that division. They're 10 games under right now. I don't know what they're doing, to be honest with you. So, a bunch of disappointing teams, to be honest with you. If you look at it.
When I some of it, when I say disappointing, Tigers, I don't consider that disappointing to me, just because they've had some success, at least in the recent, past 5 years. But when you look at a couple of teams that you felt were building to try to get some success and have some consistent success and be maybe at the top of the division, maybe in a race for the pennant, maybe in a race, to at least get into the wild card. And like I said, that's why I thought the Baltimore Orioles were headed probably this season.
Yep.
And then to see them just fall, back apart again, just kind of that's what I consider, majorly disappointing. The Tigers, it seemed like to me the Tigers, after 3 years ago, kind of were like, all right, we're good.
Yeah, seems that way.
You know what I mean?
And obviously they're decimated with injuries, but probably one of the biggest disappointments, if not the biggest, is the New York Metropolitans.
No, by the way, no, that's not a disappointment. That's just the Mets.
That's just the Mets. It's like the New York Jets. Same thing. Same kind of
Mets,
thing.
That's the Mets MO. They too, Mets, it's not disappointing about that. You know what, though? I am happy because I do live around a lot of Met fans that have been absolutely quiet, which I love. Just keep it quiet. Reminded me, reminiscent of some other fans that I had to keep quiet last year after the playoffs.
No doubt. All right, man. So why don't we get right into it, considering the fact that we have 15 minutes left here. Let's roll.
This show has been much more entertaining than a whole show on baseball.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Looking at a couple of games here, Dream. Obviously, you've got the Yankees versus the Brewers right at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Masahiro Tanaka versus Jimmy Nelson. Yankees minus 146, under over of 9.5. Looks like it's going to be 75 degrees and sunny out there. Tough game. Tanaka's been getting knocked around a lot, man. You got a Brewers team that lost yesterday that is in first place trying to stay above the Cubs, 8 games over 500. I got my Yankee money yesterday. I'm done with them now. I don't trust them at all. Do you?
No, I don't. And in fact, I've been surprised with the success that the Yankees have had all season, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But they've been doing it from their bat standpoint, not from their pitching. So I think that always makes them dangerous, especially at home. I know Tanaka's been pretty inconsistent, sporting at 5.25 ERA. So, but like you say, I don't trust them. the Brewers do have a decent away record. They're 23-18 on the road. So, yeah, I wouldn't really get it. You like the over in this one?
Nah.
Okay.
But I've only played a handful of totals this year so far.
Okay.
Looking at the rest of the card here, I'm going all the way down to Pittsburgh Pirates at the Chicago Cubs. In Wrigley Field, 73 degrees in, partly cloudy. John Lester on the bump versus Jameson Talon. Looking at this game, and I hate to bet the Cubs. And they're the kings of one-run games. They win, like, all their wins are like by one run. They never cover a run line. If you wanted to take the Cubs maybe at a -1 or put them in a money line parlay, I'm pretty comfortable with Lester today. Any interest there or no?
No, I do like the under in this particular game. Talon's been 5-2 with a Hey, Lester's been good, not really run support, but his outings, he's been okay. Only a 3.94 ERA. You get that Sunday game. Cats might be a little bit, 70-something degrees out there, swatting flies in the outfield, not really wanting to play all that. Maybe not all that much of an offensive push. I'm kind of leaning under.
Leaning under. Okay.
Yeah, I would buy it up to 9.5.
Call me a glutton for punishment, but I got to go with the Nationals today. I have to go with the Nationals. Joe Ross on the bump, 5-3 with a 4.86 ERA. He's been pretty decent as of late. Under over of 10 here. Washington -177. What I may do is I might parlay the Cubs and the Nationals.
Okay.
Get that together.
Natty's, they got Ross on the mound going against Newcomb or New Jack. 1-3 with a 3.58 ERA. That Brave team had.
They're pesky.
I was going to say that.
Very pesky.
That Brave team this season has been a big headache. I had some situations against them that have not come to fruition. And you're right, they have been pesky. So, yeah, I'm going to let you get that dolo.
Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take a parlay with the Washington Nationals money line with the Chicago Cubs. That's where I'm getting. So, and I might sprinkle in, a mix of the -1s, mix of the run lines, stuff like that as well. So that's where I'm getting down. Another spot I'm looking at here. Let me just pull it up. Texas Rangers -190 today versus the LA Angels. JC Ramirez versus Yu Darvish. I know. Dude.
Especially Darvish, too. Darvish, he got 7 losses. I bet you I've been on 5 of those.
Of course.
3.56 ERA. I hear you with the run support, maybe not getting it because the 3.56 ERA hasn't been bad. Something about Darvish, that Angel team, like you think they stink till you bet against them, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Pujols hits a home run and a couple other guys score. Yeah, I'm good with that particular matchup.
Oh, looks like, let's see, we're going to get some bad weather in. Wind is not really a factor, and Dream might be right on the under. Talking about this, Shy Picks talking about the Chicago Cubs today. So, all right, man. Let's see what else we have. Colorado Rockies today. Carlos Rodon for the Chicago White Sox versus Kyle Freeland for the Colorado Rockies. I'm going to take a shot with the Colorado Rockies today. We'll get down with them.
Well, Freeland's 8-7 with a 4.09 ERA. Rodon 1-1 with a 1.59 ERA. This game slated for 3.10. That over and under in Coors Field's 11.5. It's heavy. Any thoughts on that?
Not on the total. I just like to take the Colorado Rockies today. I'm going to get down.
Yeah, my success this season in baseball, honestly, is been between no score first innings.
Yep.
And totals.
Yeah, right.
As far as picking a side, I've had hardly no success picking a side. But totals and no score first innings have worked for me, and I do see a no score first inning opportunity. But as soon as you add the name Clayton Kershaw to the no score first inning situation, it drives your numbers up. So I'm not going to get involved with it.
Kansas City Royals with Duffy on the bump versus Kershaw of the LA Dodgers. Dodgers -300 today. Not bad.
My type of speed.
If you laid a run line with them, they're -140.
My type of speed. The only other spot that I like I would give the Diamondbacks another shot.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I like the Diamondbacks to bounce back against the Cincinnati Reds. They're putting Corbin on the mound, 6-8, 4.81 ERA. Don't get nervous. Homer Bailey has a 12.66 ERA. 12.66. So Diamondbacks are going to bounce back. Today would look like to be a great opportunity for do that. My prediction today, and gang, I am not playing it, not even for $5. However, I am talking about it. I like the Cubs under, and I like the Diamondbacks 2-team money line par.
I'm on the Cubs, the Nationals, the Rockies, and the D-backs. That's where I'm at.
Hat, we didn't talk about Corey Kluber on the mound today as well. It's your 8 o'clock game. It's your I guess, marquee home team
Sunday
game.
night baseball.
Sunday night baseball, yeah. Kluber's on the mound, 7-3, 2.85 ERA. Kluber's been good this year, Hat.
That might be a really good no-score first inning for you, to be honest with you, because Fulmer's not that bad.
Fulmer hasn't been that bad. That's a good idea. So guess what? If the par looks solid, we should have this thing done by 8. Yeah, if we hit the par, maybe we will go no score first inning on the Indians Tigers game. Good idea, Hat.
All right. But yeah, we'll see what it ends up paying. Because that's going to take a little while. And probably the thickest run line I've seen yet this year. If you were to get the Kansas City Royals minus 1.5, it's plus 450. Damn. Plus 450 is yeah, who knows? Dude, listen, I know it's Kershaw, but any team has a shot at going down at any time. We've seen it.
Baseball,
yeah,
yes.
with baseball. So, and then 75% of the games are decided by 2 runs or more. So, I don't know. Pretty interesting. So, and this is obviously right before the All-Star break as well. So they're kind of coasting right now, I think.
And when you look at these matchups and you look on ESPN, it does show you the seats available. There are quite a few seats available at every baseball venue. So if you guys want to go out catch a game, just show up at the stadium. I'm sure you'll be able to get in.
Yeah, well, when I went to see the Mets and Nats, that was pretty full.
Okay.
But I do agree with you. I mean, when you look at like Tampa Bay, there's like, you can go and just have your own section if you want.
Well, look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers got 4,000 seats available.
Nice.
Rick Lopez, bring the family out, player.
Yeah, no doubt. They all got to bring their families out. I mean, when you look at it, damn. It's crazy. Like I said, in Tropicana Field or whatever that is, I mean, you could literally just go and chill in your own section, dude. Look like big baller status. So, all right, man, that's going to do it for us. Unless you got anything else to add, Dream.
I got nothing else to add, man. It was a great show. It was fun to be back on today with you. We haven't done this, it seems like forever now. We're in a minute anyway. Yeah. It was fun.
All right, sounds good, man. So let's get up out of here. I think I'm going to go back to bed because I am feeling sick now. Because I drank a little too much. It was that jalapeno vodka last night.
I was just ready to say, no spicy Bloody Marys with the jalapeno.
Well, listen, that's the first thing I do when I'm hungover is have another drink.
Okay.
Because you know that.
Every alcoholic gives out that remedy. If you are drunk and have a hangover, go ahead and have another drink and get drunk and have a hangover tomorrow. I'm of course joking, gang. I'm the Dream. I want to the show, Robert McFalls, Jason Rowley, Joseph Del Rosario, Spot Bet, Terrence Mack, Vegas Girl 92661, PMPU Fast 8072, my man OJFB. What's going on, player? Direct Sports Solution, Mr. Charlie, good to see you out there. AU Foodies in the house, Mario Martinez, Gary Richard, and so many more. I know some of you have not really cared for the Trump rhetoric. Here's my little talk about that. It's obviously something that's pertinent to everybody in the country, so it's important to me. I know you guys love sports, and I love sports too, but what goes on in our country is an important event, and I think it's something that we should be talking about. I'd rather talk about it on Twitter, via the Twitter, venue that our president likes to use anyway. than to actually take up a lot of time on the show to talk about it. So that's how I get it out. So that's what a little explanation for that. We're looking to get Big Leon very soon to have him on the program. Christy, what's up? I see you out there as well. Marco, I see you out there as well. Cash Action Bets, good morning to you, sir. Irvin, Scott Weaver, Jim Romer's a douche, so many more. Sin City Maverick, Rafael Esparza, Game Changer, Kissing Gang. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of each and every day because you cannot get this time back. We'll catch you next weekend.
Absolutely, guys. And, we're talking about it here, and we're talking about the NFL among us, college football among us. We're going to be getting ready for our fantasy contest each and every Sunday starting week 1. And I'll be sending out links to everybody so you can get on board and join.
Pat, did you do fantasy for college?
I sprinkled a little bit. I was up and down, couldn't really get anywhere.
Okay.
Because you know what it is like the players for Baylor were like your whole bankroll.
Okay.
But they would put up stupid numbers. It was just, it was kind of crazy. So you really got to just spread the money out. It's the same premise, you just got to find the sleepers and just get lucky.
Sure.
Honestly, it's like playing the lottery. You got to have the right numbers. You know what I mean? It's kind of very similar to it. So that's that, man. So Dream, have a good day, man. And everybody in the nation, enjoy yourselves. Be safe. Do whatever it is you got to do whatever it is you want to do in life and get that money. Let's go.